If you're thinking about buying a Park City investment property and renting it nightly, you need to watch this entire video before you write a single offer. Because I see investors make six-figure mistakes here every year. Buying properties that can't legally be rented, getting blindsided by HOA bans or fees, and underestimating taxes and overestimating revenue. Today, we're going to talk about exactly what's legal, where the best nightly rental buildings actually are, what kind of returns are realistic in 26, and the traps to avoid. Let's get into it. Park City has been a top short-term rental market in the US for years. We have 4 million visitors annually, 2 world-class ski resorts, year-round tourism from mountain biking and fly fishing and hiking to festivals and concerts. Demand is real, occupancy is strong, and good operators can generate excellent returns. But, and this is a big but, Park City does have regulations and rules that you need to know. The rules can be strict, they can be enforced, and the wrong property type in the wrong area with the wrong HOA can leave you with an asset you legally cannot rent or operate the way you want. So let's walk you through how to do this right. Every single nightly rental property in Park City has to pass 3 independent permission gates. Miss any one of them and you can't legally operate it. Gate 1, zoning. Park City Municipality maintains a specific nightly rental zoning map. Some zones allow short-term rentals, some don't. Old Town, Deer Valley, Canyons Village, and parts of Prospectors are inside the nightly rental zones. Other neighborhoods include some areas of Park Meadows and Jerry Ranch and Pinebrook either restrict or prohibit short-term rentals at the zoning level. The Park City zoning map is public. Use it before you fall in love with the property. Gate 2, licensing. Even if zoning allows it, you need a nightly rental license from the city finance department. The license is property specific and not transferable. If the property is outside the Park City limits, but in Summit County, you apply through the county. Licenses must be renewed annually and properties have to meet the safety standards. Basic stuff like smoke detectors, CO2 detectors, fire extinguishers, posted evacuation routes, 24/7 local contact, stuff like that. It's all, pretty standard and, not that hard. Gate 3, your HOA. This is where investors can get into trouble. Even if a property is in a nightly rental zone with a valid license, the HOA can ban short-term rentals or impose a 30-day minimum rental restriction. HOA rules override city when it comes to rentals. You have to read the CC&Rs, the recorded covenants, and the current HOA rules before you buy, every single time. Now to the part that matters. Where do you actually find a property that works as a nightly rental? Old Town is the gold standard. Walkable to Main Street, walkable to Town Lift at Park City Mountain, strong year-round demand, premium nightly rates. Studio and one-bedroom condos start under $1 million. Larger units can run from around $1.5 million and up. The downside is operating costs. Older buildings, sometimes with deferred maintenance and HOA fees that can be substantial. Canyons Village delivers consistent rental income with newer construction and a thriving base area scene. Buildings like The Lift, Sundial Lodge, High Centric, and the new Pendry residences are all legitimate nightly rental products. Entry points start in the high 6 figures, over 3-4 million. Deer Valley nightly rentals tend to be the highest revenue per booking, but with somewhat lower occupancy. Look at Silver Lake Village products or Lower Deer Valley products like Black Diamond Lodge, Stag Lodge, Silver Baron Lodge, branded residences like the St. Regis and Montage, and the newly, being developed Four Seasons and Waldorf properties. Stein Erickson Lodge generates premium nightly rentals and offers turnkey management programs. Then we can hop over to Prospector Village area, which is more of a value play. Smaller units, more affordable entry points, like under 500,000, but check this specific complex. Some Prospector properties are zoned for nightly rentals, and some aren't. This is a place where small differences in addresses dramatically change what's legal. Let's talk numbers, real ones. A well-located, well-managed 1 or 2 bedroom condo in Old Town, Canyons Village, or Deer Valley can typically generate gross annual rental revenues between $70,000 and $180,000, depending on the unit, the building, the management, and the year. Top-performing larger units in premium locations can push past $250,000. Out of the gross revenue, you need to subtract management fees. Typically around 25 to 35% for full service nightly rental management, cleaning, utilities, HOA dues, property taxes, insurance, marketing, occasional repairs, and your booking platforms if you're not exclusively on a managed program. Realistic net operating income on a Park City nightly rental after all those costs, but before debt service, often lands on about 35 to 50% of gross revenue. So on a property generating 120,000 gross, you might net 50 to 60,000 operating income before mortgage payments. That's not a get rich quick number. But on a $1.2 million asset that's also appreciating in one of the most resilient resort markets in the country with significant tax advantages, is a perfectly reasonable return profile, especially if you're buying as much for the lifestyle and the appreciation as much as the cash flow. Park City property taxes work very differently depending on how you classify the property. A primary residence in Park City is taxed at about 0.55% of the assessed value. A secondary property or investment property is taxed just under 1% of the assessed value, almost double as if it's your primary residence, but not exactly. If you rent the property nightly, you also collect and remit Utah sales tax of about 4.85% and a transient room tax that can add another 3 to 5% depending on the jurisdiction. Park City's portion of the resort community's sales tax also applies. Major platforms like Airbnb and VRBO often collect and remit these fees automatically, but you remain legally responsible for the accuracy. You also need a Utah business license for the rental activity, and depending on revenue, you may need to file lodging tax forms quarterly or monthly. Federal tax treatment of short-term rental income is complex and depends on your personal involvement, depreciation strategy, and a host of other factors. Talk to a CPA who actually understands resort rental properties before you close. The right structure can save you tens of thousands per year. So quick rapid fire list of mistakes I see repeatedly. 1. Buying without verifying zoning. The seller said it could be rented nightly. The agent said so also. Then the buyer closes and the city sends a cease and desist. This can happen. Verify zoning yourself every time. 2. Ignoring the HOA. Even after zoning checks out, HOAs ban or restrict rentals. Some HOAs cap the number of rental units per building. Read the CC&Rs and recent meeting minutes. Number 3, understanding operating costs. Furnishing a property in Park City for nightly rentals is typically $30,000 to $80,000 done well. Add management fees, HOA dues, insurance, utilities, taxes, and a property maintenance service. And your real operating expense ratio is often 50 to 60% of gross revenue. Number 4, overestimating revenue. Airbnb and other tools give estimates. Treat those as upper bounds, not averages. New owners often underperform local market revenue in their first year while they learn pricing, photos, listings, and management. Number 5, choosing the wrong management company. There are great property managers here in Park City, and there are mediocre ones. The difference between great and mediocre property management can be 30 to 40% of gross revenue. Interview at least 3. Ask for actual revenue numbers on comparable units, and ask me for references. We work with a bunch of them. We've seen good, we've seen bad, and we have a lot of clients with rental properties, and we just give you firsthand stories or connect you with clients who are currently using each different company. To summarize, Park City investment properties can absolutely work as a rental and long-term asset, but only if you do the work up front. If you do, this is one of the best performing resort markets in the whole country. If you're considering an investment purchase and you want help vetting the zoning, the HOA, the realistic revenue, and the right buildings, book a call through the link in the description. I work with investors almost every day, and I have a lot of investors with multiple offers, and I can save you from the expensive mistakes. Subscribe for more investor content, and I'll see you next time.